Right, so as I'm going to be building this next, we're going to have a quick look at the new Airfix Junkers JU87B, one Stuka in 1/72. Your kit number is A03087. That's about right. So, got the box art on the front. As you can see, we've got the Spitfire, the Hurricane in the background. There's a 109 fighter, and we've got the Stuka going for its traditional dive and bombs being released. So I let's take it this is quite an early World War one. Now, not looked in the box at all, so she's still sealed. So I'll just take her apart. What we'll do is just do a quick round of the box. So we've got some CAD work on the side showing what I've done. I'm sure Matt at Airfix did most of this, and that looks absolutely gorgeous. End of the box, just the same picture. Your markings. So we've got JU87B Stuka 9, whatever that says, 1940, or we've got the Junkers 87 Stuka at the Camford Garage 88 Legion Condor, Spain, 1938. So we've got a Spanish War one and also an early World War One or World War Two one. Length is 152 millimeters, so just over sort of 6 inches in length. So it's a nice size with 110 pieces. We've got all the usual colour call-outs, all the paint numbers here, which I don't use Humbrol, so don't bother me in the slightest. All their glues. There you go. Anyway, so I've not opened this box. Let's have a look. See what we got. In there. Take out everything out of the box. So, deck's inside. Right. So the first thing is the instruction manual. So I've got a little bit about the plane at the top, also in French, German, Spanish and Swedish, I think. I'm sure someone will put me right on that. Sizes and everything else with the 2 decal scheme included. The new and normal way of Airfix way of doing instructions has changed so much, and the quality of their kits has changed so much in the last few years that there's nothing to moan about, to be truthful. They are great. But anyway, starting from the front, we've also got the bottom for the cockpit, which then joins into the centre wing section. So it looks like we're going to have a sandwich effect at some point. Yeah, looking that way. And then we've got the seats to go in. Now it looks like there's 2 types of seats, and we've also got obviously our obligatory little man. Now if we put a little man in, there's a seat without moulded in seat belts. But if we're going to do, probably like myself, won't put a little man in, we have a seat with seat belts which are moulded in, which is a nice little touch on a kit that costs, what, 12 quid? So it's not bad. Keep going down, we then do the rear gunner section. Nice lot of detail on the waterside walls going in. Decal for your instrument panel. This is tiny. I'm sure the aftermarket guys will jump on it and put us a nice cockpit in there. But as this kit itself is probably less than a month old, then maybe not in the shops yet. I did look, to be truthful, but I couldn't find any at Hannant's, so there you go. Anyway, turn the compressor off a second. There we go. So I believe the Hunter does it this way. That the cockpit goes up from underneath once you've done everything inside it. Great way of doing it. Fits, it makes a fit, and just a little bit stronger. So right, so you're going through to your bomb sights. Lumps and bumps on the front, believe they're guns. Yep, they are. Sorry, it's difficult to tell because it's an awful picture. Very different way of doing it as well. Taking the holes out for your bombs on the wings. Getting the main wings on, underwings on. Tailplanes with the end plates, rudder, strengthening work underneath. Then we're on to the engine side of things. Doesn't look like there's a whole engine. No, just a very, very basic hole at the front by the looks of it. Of course, it was a radial engine. The large air scoop, which is very prominent on the 87, seems to be there and good. Wheels coming together. Now there are, for a kit of this quality, this age, and the quality of Airfix, we've got weight on wheels, which is always a lovely, lovely touch. Then we've got the covers going on, and then of course where the siren goes. Wheels going on, deciding which of the rear wheels we're going to put on. Now, the big thing about a Stuka is the rear flaps, or slats, whatever you would like to call them. These will be very dainty. Until I haven't looked at the bag yet, so I don't know how dainty they're going to be. But they're always an issue with the Stuka model. And as you can see, they do look good when they're done properly, but these things are very easily broken. More bits and bobs going on. Our £500 bombs are under the wings, so we got £1,000 on each side. Not big, but would do a lot of damage. And we've also got one in the middle, which looks to me like 1,000. I may be wrong. And of course, we've got the bomb deployment unit, which drops the bomb down. As the plane's in a dive, it literally comes out to make the bomb go in a straight line, the same as the aircraft. Brilliant little idea, as the Germans were. We've got some tubes going on, pitot tubes going on the outside. A little bit more detail going in the cockpit for the rear guy. The cockpit, as you can see here, looks quite heavily detailed and very, very good and clear. For the scale's amazing. And then we've got the sights, the gun. We've got a 3-piece canopy. As you can see, the gun fits in the hole there. Nothing spectacular about that. Your 3-bladed prop, standard. And we have a very, very chunky join for the spinner to go onto. Now that goes into the hole at the front. You don't see much of a Stuka engine, so I can see what they've done. There's no point doing much more than that. It's fine for the scale, and it'll do us. We've also, our little man looks like he's posable for each side, or semi-posable, either that or is his arm chopped off. That looks very good. Then the colours. So we've got the usual black green, dark green, and we'll have the RLM1, which will be, or the RLM2, no, it is RLM1 in the cockpit, which will be the cockpit grey. It's a little bit lighter than RLM2, as I was reliably informed not long ago. It's camo, it's war camo, it all looks the same, but this is, on a Stuka, that just looks nice. It's all very angled, very sharp. So on this is about the only sort of camo that I would use a mask on. All the others would be freehand. So we have the choice of this one, which don't expect me to pronounce that. I come from Norfolk, I don't come from Germany. but it's obviously a French one, or based in France, August 1940, ready to do battle just after the Battle of Britain, or in the Battle of Britain I should say. And the other one, we have the Campbell Group 88 Legion Squadron in Spain, 1938. So this is obviously pre-World War II. Obviously the Germans attacked Spain and sort of Poland. They went up and down at the same time. They've been in this war for quite a while and doing the job. Anyway, that's the instructions. I'll keep them out. Just another shafty through them in a little while. Right, decals. Having a quick look. Very nicely done, as we expect from our friends at Airfix now. Instrument panel, there's the details on there, but it's not detailed. Even on a 1/72, I can hand paint better than that if I had the right instrument panel. But obviously the one on this is blank, so as far as I know, I haven't looked. I could do better than that by hand, and a couple of pairs of glasses on to see what I was doing on 1/72. It'll do for the scale, but we know this is a big open cockpit where this is going to be seen, so it's a shame. But we'll have a look, and we'll just go, when we build this one, just go by the instructions anyway. So we're looking through. Of course the swastikas are not here, but they will be applied because they were on the original plane. Now we had the aggro with the swastikas. Many different things are said on many different web sites, on Facebook or YouTube or wherever. If you're building a Second World War plane and it's got swastikas on it, it's history, as far as I'm concerned. If they were there, I'll put them on. If they weren't, I won't. Simple as that. But going back to the transfers or the decals, there is, apart from these and those, there is no carrier film. A little bit on the instrument panel, but there is no carrier film outside the crosses or any of the other little parts. I mean, the carrier film on these crosses there, that's your carrier film. The rest is nothing. So extremely good. I believe these are cartograph decals. Not 100% just looking on the box. No, yep, they are, sorry. So they are cartograph, so they are going to be absolutely perfect. There is no doubt about that. So I'll just put these away for now. Alright, then we have the usual thing with an Airfix model. Until you get bigger, one bag, which means there's always a risk of losing something. So just cut her open. There you go, need a new scalpel blade. Just being very careful, because I know that I can see those wing slats already and they are very delicate. Just being a little bit careful as we get the plastic out. Bag put away ready, put the clear away. So move these to one side and see what we got. Okay, so this is the rear of the main fuselage. As you can see here, there are sink marks there, but I think they'll be hidden. None of these will be shown. Airfix's new tool and stuff nowadays is so on the ball. It's, well, it's ridiculously good compared to what it used to be. There's flash on the sprue, but I can't see anything on the actual kit. Over to the side we're going to want to know the most about. Right, there is no burring on the little fellas. I don't know if you can see this at all, but there is no burning on there, burring on the pilots. They had the same thing for dinner because it's got the same expression. But there you go. I wonder which one in the office this one was. Right, so looking at the rest of the kit, this was built like a tank. So these lines, the panel lines on this, look absolutely fantastic. They're not deep. They're very fine. They're well defined. This doesn't seem to be the usual softer plastic that Airfix have been using. In fact, it's got quite a quality about it. I know that it looks flimsy, but the actual styrene seems a little bit different on this. It may just be me, but the quality is a lot better. I can see a small issue, which is up on the top of the fuselage behind the gunner. There's actually, it's not a sink mark, but there seems to be a little bit of a moulding issue. Make them out just on the paint and be done with. And then we have these slats we were talking about, and as you can see, they are fine. The details is perfect. There is no flash on any of those parts. The parts are detailed and very, very good. Side walls look good as well. Lots of detail. A little bit of picking it out and then a dry brush. Bring it up lovely. So that's that part. We've got upper wings next. Again, perfectly moulded. Lots of nice detail. I'm just going to take a wash. One of our Clad's hog washes brilliantly, because I know I can do this in the mil spec paint as well. So I'm looking forward to doing that. We've got the weight on wheels, nothing special, but plenty good enough for what we're going to do. There's your gunner's seat. That one without seat belts, but we'll have a look in a minute at the others. You got your sirens with the pins there. That all looks lovely. Underneath of the wings, again, lots of beautiful detail. The two seats, one with, one without. Seat belts look lovely. The 500s, 1000s, and fuel pods, they look very nicely done. Everything is nicely done. The undercarriage is a little bit fine, so we have to be careful of that when we cut her out so we don't break any parts. Bomb racks, and then we have the inside of the cockpit, which is pretty bare, but again, we're not going to see a great deal. There's that other little piece of detail that will go in the centre between the gunner sides. So the spinners on there, there's no flash. Your propeller, just a standard propeller, but she's cleans the whistle again, no flash. There's a tiny, first little bit of flash I've seen. Don't know if you can see it under my fingernail there. I'll bring it up a bit closer. That's the first piece of flash I've seen on the whole kit. So, what can you say? So that looks nice. And then the last bit, which is your glazing. I've been cutting photo etch with that knife, that's probably why it's as blunt as it is. your glazing work. Just having a quick... Don't know how well you can see that, but on these sections, which are the glazed sections which are going to be used, I would say it's sort of, apart from this bend here at the top, which would be a little bit thick and distorted, that is as clear as I've ever seen on a 1/72 kit. The front, again, there's no distortion of the lines on the mat. That's impressive, to be honest. They're fairly nicely raised, so you can be able to cut your masks perfectly. They look good. They really do look good. Looking at the model, I mean, I'm a fan of German aircraft, although I don't build many. But this is one of the best 1/72 kits I think I've seen in a long while. As a review in the box. To build it, we don't know. But that's what's on the plan next. So now that the Devastator's gone, this little beauty's going on the bench. So I hope you enjoyed it. I know hopefully I'm getting a little bit better at this, and we'll go on as we go. Thank you very much.